Travis Wingetzel. So, how many of you have been following my channel? How many know what's going on and is not surprised? Alright. Book of Mormon says it's written in the learning of the Jews, which means it's not Christian and no Jesus. Joseph Smith tells us who our Christ is. First, in the Joseph Smith history, verse 40, that's what he's referring to when he refers us to Acts. And we're distracted because he follows it up with not only that prophet was Christ, but also that you need to hearken to him. Otherwise, you're going to be utterly destroyed. You have to know Greek to figure it out. Or you can figure it out from the text. He gives us the answer. It's hilarious. But it's referring to Deuteronomy, the learning of the Jews, Christ, called the man like Moses. The reasons why he's the man like Moses is because Moses is a symbolic character, not a real literal history character. And so he does not exist. He is a prophetic book of Revelation about the Latter-day Christ. And Joseph Smith says, that's ours. Ooh, Mr. Carter, that's ours. I still need to get that series. But Joseph Smith goes on to say, hey, guess what, Mormons? He's going to be Mormon. And so, yeah, that's shocking to you if you've got Christian interpretation with Jesus on the brain, because you won't be able to comprehend it. You won't understand the learning of the Jews. And so how did that happen? Brigham happened. That's what happened. Brigham lied, replaced Joseph Smith's church, and has deceived ever since. So you've got Nelson pushing Jesus, right? No, not the right church. Guess what that means, Mormons? He's the false prophet. He's Pharaoh. Oh no. He's Herod. Oh no. The Philistines just had the Philistines. There was no king involved in the Philistines with Samson. But yeah, that's how you interpret the prophecies. And we can interpret them now. Did you know that? We can go through the revelations, and most of them at least, you can go, that's what that means. That's what that means. That's what that means. I know. And how do we know we know? Because they've already happened. We're in the latter days, the final year of the latter days. Everything that has been prophesied has been happening. And this is the final year. And so, story of Moses, the prophecy of the latter days. Moses goes to Pharaoh, let my Mormons go. Oh, did you catch that? Moses is the man like Moses who Joseph Smith said is Mormon. So you put him in that character position. Pharaoh is Nelson. And he goes before Nelson and says, hey, let my people go. Let the Mormons go. Quit lying to them. Quit holding them hostage with tithing and other crimes, ordering them to commit crimes against the man like Moses, who's a Mormon. And he says no, and he escalates the abuse on Mormons, increases their burden, increases tithing. Yeah, because he kind of expects rich people to pay tithing and thus encourages the poor to give more by getting better jobs, not giving to the poor, having them pull themselves up by their own bootstraps. And so, yeah, don't give him that award in April. Dear God, what is Atlanta, that Morehouse, was it? Is that the name of the college? What were they thinking? Dear God, not a single black person should be a Mormon. Period. End of story. Just because they allow blacks to join the church since 1978 doesn't mean they're not racist anymore. Because you have forgotten the one basic principle. Any church that has a history of abuse, of white supremacy, of racism, sexism, bigotry, hatred, neglect of the poor, etc., 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 anti-Semitism, they're not the true church. This is not a Christian church where the prophets are just good guys who went to courses to learn Bible and they just give sermons about how Jesus is great. No, these are guys who tell you they speak for Jesus. Jesus talks to them and they tell you his will. No Christian pastor will say that. Maybe an evangelical here or there. There's some televangelists I know have done that stunt. God's going to smite me down. He told me so unless you give me money so I can buy more yachts. And airplanes, and jetliners, and a Ferrari. I need a Ferrari. And a pool boy. That's just sick and wrong. Why did you marry your wife? Dear God. Why did she marry you? Dear God. What is the point of marriage if you're not even going to be married? If you're not even going to act like it? But, so, Creeping Death. There's the song in the footnote below. Great movie scene clip with it too. So, and it's the rebooted version. There also is one for the Charlton Heston one. But, I mean, maybe we can find both if they're showing it on the same page. We'll see. But, yeah, Creeping Death kills the firstborn of Pharaoh. And how does that apply? Well, Pharaoh is the leader of the religion. The son of Pharaoh is the heir to the throne. So the heir to the throne is the whole administration of the great and abominable church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And so no authority to succeed. Nelson's it. That's it. That's all. He's not going to die. Right, Nelson? Right, Oaks? I don't know if I can wink well. Definitely cannot flirt with a girl. That is for sure. I don't have any women to practice with anymore. But, and so he consents and lets them go in 2020 and 2022. Because wheat has 2 harvests. You do the first harvest, and then they'll still continue to grow, and so you can get an extra harvest out of it. And you missed them. And so, with the Green River drying up so that we could pass through on dry land, you missed it. You stayed behind and turned into a pillar of salt of the Great Salt Lake. Yeah, Sodom also has a play in this too. All of them do. Like I said, you can now, I'm giving you the key of Revelation. You can now reveal, I think I've already given you that key for the stars in the heavens. So would it be prophecy this time? We'll give you the key of prophecy this time. So that you can interpret the prophecies, even though it's technically revealing the prophecies, but prophesying, revealing the prophecies. I'm giving you that key. So all we have left is seer, and I've actually given you that one too. That's the science of anthropology. That's what I am. Because you know it all. You see in the past, you see the present, you see in the future, all the various sciences involving a culture at any point in time, anywhere on the earth. anthropology. So, yeah, they're not mystical magic. No, science. Everything's science. Learning of the Jews, science. And so, now guess what happens after the waters part and you were supposed to go through on dry land to Zion, to the temple. Yeah, well, now the waters are closing back in. The floods came in and the waters rose up. And so, guess what's happening this winter? You missed 2022's harvest, or harvest, Exodus. And so now the floods. Exactly as prophesied. Exactly as prophesied. With record-breaking snow this year, which is obvious because of the drought that we've had for so long. It was expected that once we get snow again, it would be a massive blow to overcompensate for the drought. And thus we're going to have flooding to a massive extent when all of this melts. Already seen accidents out there. Went to the grocery store, as I told you in the previous video. And it's ugly out there already. And it's going to continue into tomorrow, I guess, till the afternoon. So I'm stuck in my cave, writing the history of the destruction of the Mormons. Because they refused to hearken. So have fun with this. So if you're thinking, are we doomed? Do I just curl up in a ball and die? Well, you've not read your Book of Mormon with the additional prophecies of an Exodus. The Book of Mormon is written with multiple Exodus after Exodus after Exodus after Exodus after Exodus after Exodus pattern. And so this one is where 3 Nephi 8 through 10 occur. These are the climate change natural disasters. And these are going to force you into an Exodus yet again, assuming that you don't stay behind and die. Which there are many a movie of that. Dante's Peak, for example. Grandma doesn't want to leave her home despite the volcano that destroys the lava flow that rips through her house. And then she gets just dumb people who don't want to flee when danger is upon them. I mean, first responders, yes. But regular people who don't respond to first responders to flee, to people who are in positions of trust and authority to have them leave. I mean, that's what Joseph Smith warned. Utter destruction if you don't hearken to him. And you didn't hearken to him because you're stuck on Jesus. Did Jesus heal you? Did Jesus give you peace? Jesus is going to give you death. Because he doesn't exist. So, welcome to Christianity, Mormons. You chose to be it. Rather than studying your scriptures and asking yourself the one basic question when you started reading the Book of Mormon, what is the learning of the Jews?